Welcome, my beautiful souls, and welcome, my fellow Virgos. Um, this is your November 2025 reading. November, but Virgo Sun, Virgo Rising, Virgo Moon. Some of you are intuitively guided. That's your spirit guides. They're nudging you. A lot of you know that by now. Um, and I just have to say, what's making me mess up my words is as soon as I hit start, I had this overwhelming feeling of that this is going to be a really interesting reading and that it was really going to call for my intuition. Like it's like our spirit guides put that in me, like, get ready, Sandy, have your intuition open. So I feel like I'm ready, and I'm excited. So um we'll see what November brings, or what we bring to it. Okay, so we are going to use 4 different decks. I'm sort of putting crystals on the cards for no particular reason. I'm trying to learn about them. And I tend to hold this one a lot just because it's flat. I don't know. Moldavite. That's what this is. So anyway, we will, of course, give Mother Mary the honor of opening up your reading. We will use the Gilded Tarot to go deeper, to clarify and go deeper. We're going to use the Psychic Tarot, which kind of should have told me something right from the get-go, because I really feel drawn to a deck, and I felt drawn to the Psychic Tarot, and I always feel that means there's something really interesting going on. We will use the major arcanas to get bullet points. I am going to pause you just 1 second. Okay, I was only gone a second. Um, oh, let's start with Mother Mary. Let's go ahead and start this reading. I'm going to pull the lid down. And by the way, feel very comfortable asking your spirit guides to give you signs of confirmation. Um, Whether you've ever spoken to them before or not, they still know you and you know them. Um, a lot of times signs come through songs. Some people think that's like a hoax. I don't think so. Like, I 100% don't think so. I guess I can't prove it, but it's just not what I'm told. And I just know it. I just know it. But also numbers. If you see like 3 numbers, like 333, it doesn't even have to be like multiple times, but something makes you like, whoa, 333. That would take a second. Either think about what you're doing at that moment, or look up the angel number or the spiritual meaning of 333, because it may be a message that would serve you right then and right there. I honestly feel like all the readings are signs, and I am the messenger. All right, Mother Mary's like, stop talking, Sandy. Well, look at that love. That very seldom comes out, I have to say. Very seldom do I see this. When I see love. Love is the answer to all of my questions, and then action. Interesting. Love and action. Today, I take action related to the priorities that I have previously put off. Love and action. Interesting. Well, let's see why. Like dun 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 dun. All right, let's bring in the major arcanas. I have a feeling they're going to tell quite a story. Um, Sometimes I feel like they could be a reading all on their own. So we'll see. I would say put those intentions out there. Like sometimes I'll think about a card intentionally, and that card comes out. And the only time that I do that, though, is like if I feel like, oh, that would be the perfect card right there. And then the perfect card comes out. You know what I mean? Is it me? Probably not. Do I have a little bit to say with it, to do with it? Probably. All right, we got a bit. So let's take them. We have the world. So something has come to completion and something new is beginning. Is this a full that's in the middle? So it's something that, you're going to have to take a leap of faith in. Have a feeling for some it's going to be love. But, that's not all. Like, I feel like the fool is just going on an adventure and love just is going to be part of it. It's just going to be part of it. I almost feel like it has some, like, I want to use the word spry. I'm not sure if that's a word, but I feel like I have some spry little girls. So I feel like when you were a little girl, you were a spry little girl. And to me, what it's making me feel is like, how do I say this? Like charming and troublesome, but charming, but troublesome. And I don't really think you were trouble. I think you were more adventuresome. They just mistook it. Well, probably because you were too young. So I can see all sides here. Anyway, and I know that's not everyone, but some of you like spry must maybe use that for your word. And then we have the Empress, the mother figure. She's all about love. In the perfect world, it's perfect love, but there's no such thing. And there's no perfect person in the imperfect world. I'm doing the best I can. I feel like someone's saying that. I'm doing the best I can. And I really feel that. I feel I have somebody here, and this may be someone who is in spirit, but I feel there's a sense of community. Like, how could I let one mouth go hungry? Whether that be like my own kids, my own family, or my community. I don't know. I just feel this sense of duty, compassion, abundance. Why? Because she makes it happen. It's funny. She's strong. I do feel like this is you. And for some of you, it's so funny because I said to my daughter, I said, sometimes sometimes, how do I say this? Um, like I've already lived life, right? And I can see her like on a certain path, and I already know the answer. Like I have the answer. And maybe it's just me, like I want to fix her, right? We're a fixer. That's what we want to do. We want to fix it. That's what she wants to do. But she's doing it out of love. Um, but what was I saying? Because she said something about like we were talking about like becoming independent, and then when you're with a man, it's not because you need them. And I've been telling her that for years and years and years, and she's getting it now. It's funny because now that's what I'm trying to say. I can see me in her. And maybe in return, I kind of get a glimpse of what my mother felt like. Hmm. Okay. Anyway, let's keep going. Look at that. We have the sun. Card Leo. It's a ruler of Leo. And it's so interesting because my son, Son, is a Leo. And I feel like he's my guide. And I do feel like this is him. But I feel like he's representing all of our guides. So interesting. Because I just feel it. And look at that. And mom right next to him. Oh, I love that. And the world. It's almost like, we walk through that portal. It's not over. The sun, it's the reminder of a brand new day. It's funny, I'm doing your reading at night. And I very seldom read at night, but I love to read at night. Like, I read different at night for some reason. All right. Well, we have masculine and feminine right here also. Interesting. We have the hermit. Well, part of Virgo. We're in the year of the hermit. This hermit, you can tell, is like shining his beacon of light outwardly. It's almost like your spirituality. You're sharing it, you're sharing your light. How interesting. And it feels like your light, like you connected to your guides, and how that, in a way, it feels like it's all connected. And then interesting. Oh, there is light, there is shadow. And look at the hermit. Look at the hermit now illuminating the devil. How interesting. Wow. The devil, if it's not a Capricorn, by the way, like I always feel bad for Capricorn, but it can talk about temptations. It can talk about illusions. Number one, the sun. The sun's right in the middle. And it's like when the sun's out, like everything is clear. And even the hermit, who feels like that wise old soul part of yourself, like you're illuminating the shadow. It's like you can't fear the shadow. You have power over the shadow. Claim it, right? That's like the wisdom. And it just feels like of lifetimes because I feel that energy. How interesting. This is powerful. Like I feel it. And I can feel what each thing is for. And here we are in the year of the hermit. here is the next chapter. And the devil has been illuminated. Devil is seen. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. But what I mean by that is I feel like it's almost like it takes that power away. And I feel like the struggles of the Empress, but when I say struggles, I don't feel like that's how like she would look at it. It's more of like I do what I have to do. It's funny action. Hmm. It's pretty wild. You know, if you are, I don't know. It's interesting. I had a girl or a woman. I shouldn't call her a girl because she's a woman. She's a grown woman. Um, I said something like I'm very careful to keep like certain parts of myself private because that's just what I choose, right? I don't want to be in a battle. Um, but I think I gave something away. I don't know how my readings don't. Like, I don't know how you can know me and think one way, but, you know, I shouldn't say that. One's perspective is everything. But anyway, she just agreed with me and she's like, I have more Virgo in me than you could ever hope for. This is what she was writing. Um, and she called me CUNT. I mean, like bad, bad. And you guys don't know this, but like, probably other readers too, we get a lot of that. But this is bad. But the thing was, like, I just wrote back and I was like, wow. I was like, I don't have time to be your teacher. I don't have time. And I think there was a story behind that, but I ended up blocking her. I was just like, no, I don't know why. Why am I telling you that? We'll figure it out. All right, slide these up. I definitely feel like as a Virgo, I am going through the energy of the hermit. You know what I mean? Like as in reflecting upon different things. Um I feel like I'm just allowing my creativity to flow, like trying to take restrictions away. I think I have to learn to maybe not work so much, but it's like doing things I like doing though. All right. Wow. What powerful messages. I mean, number one, for Mother Mary, love, action. Like one word, love, action. And then what we have above us, you know, when you see the sun, especially in the middle of a spread like that, it's like it is the illuminator. Like anything done in the dark comes to the light. And it feels like, spiritually, not just earthly, but also spiritually. So, you know, like I'm thinking of different things that could mean, but I think I should just let you use your imagination there. All right. Nice. We have the 9 of Pentacles. This is the 9 of Pentacles. This is material harvest. This can be successful self-employment. This is seeing the fruits of your labor. And, I've been there. I mean, this is where I'm at now. Um, but I've also worked for, companies. And this is like, I like that you're in like this grateful pose also, because I also feel the Empress is like that, like opened, spiritually opened. We have patience and waiting. This is Seven of Pentacles. This is interesting. Look at all these pentacles we have. We have material and spiritual prosperity. Nine, seven, six, or 6, 7, 9. Interesting, because, I'm looking at patience and planning, and I'm looking right above, and it's the Empress. And I'm thinking, well, she would have patience, right? Because the Empress, like, um, is again the mother figure. So I carry the child, and I carry that child I'm patient. I carry that child for 9 months. At least that's what I hope for. Right. So but like the ultimate result, right, is going to be life changing. But I feel like, like putting plans in place. Some of you might be buying a house, and there might be like the perfect place just illuminated to you. Hmm. I feel like there's something that you're claiming victory over. And I feel like everyone's going to know. And it's interesting because, I'm looking at the people above, and I'm like, we have all different types. We have the playful, we have the spiritual, we have the little devil, we have the mother figure. The Eight of Swords. What? That doesn't belong. And I'll tell you where that's coming from. Trapped in fear. So it looks, what it looks like to me? It looks like everything I just felt and read is like a dream. The Three of Cups. I don't know if that's good. Excuse me. I feel like there are a few who I feel like you are under the influence right now. Like, and it could be alcohol. It may be like self-worth issues. It's definitely feels like it's in your thinking, but I feel like, it's coming from the devil's energy, so that's an illusion. But there's a hermit above it, who's illuminating. And you're the hermit. This is your many lifetimes and the wisdom of that. And it's about using that now, because I feel like for some of you, I feel like you are creating this. And I feel for others, you want to create this, but there's something coming in the way. And it feels more of self, because I feel like the Eight of Swords, that self-created prison, when you decide to free yourself, it does kind of feel like it comes from your spirituality, but also trusting in what you know. I feel like you free yourself. And so it is, and I feel like, whatever may tempt you, like in the dark, whether that be a person, I do feel it's more of the self. And I do feel like that is why we also have action from Mother Mary, because I feel like there is a way out. And I feel like it's the wisdom that you do possess. All right, let's keep going. Here's our 8, 6, 7, 8, 9. 97, 68, 83. Oh, it's the year my son was born. 11. Why did I say 11? Isn't that weird? That's what I said. 11. Some of you must be thinking that number right now. This is justice, balance. Look at this, the universe. I have to tell you, a lot of people have been getting like these, kind of like urgent type messages. And I say urgent, I don't mean like overnight. I mean like this year is ending. We're getting closer and closer to that date. And, we are entering into this next 9 years, like it or not. It's going to happen. I'd rather go in knowing all that I know to be true than go in with a mask of any kind. And I feel like that's where justice comes in. That's where you're making those decisions. Listen, if you're in need of swords, you're figuring out like what's keeping you in this unbalanced state. Because I feel like the potential is here. And it's interesting, I just said about the world. Um, or the next chapter, and then the world comes out. So we have two worlds. Hmm. I'll be honest, at this point, I kind of feel like there is, let's just say for some type of block between you and your potential, you and your money. It may be of self, it may be of another, but I feel like you're living with it in your thoughts. I know that's probably not for everyone. Let's continue. Because I do feel what I felt earlier, like the pride of what I've done, taking that moment. And, someone may even eliminate that. I hope. I hope for you. But if nobody does, do it yourself. Stand your ground. Stand your ground. It's funny, my left ear just went closed. Left for love. Stand your ground. Excuse me. Now it's ringing. It's funny because in both images, they're both standing over their grounds. Like this person's standing over the world. It's like claiming victory over the world. This person's standing over their luscious grounds, and it must have started in this Nine of Pentacles. It probably started in the planning of it, the seed. Just, be careful you don't let somebody come between you and, I guess, your potential, your partnership, and alliances. You got a friend in me. Marrying the Hermit. It's funny, I feel like there's many who have been through what you're going through. For those who are going through something, I feel like, and I do feel different things, but I do feel like many have gone before and many will follow. And it almost becomes like a sisterhood or, a brotherhood, that type of thing. It's almost like a soul recognition. Makes me wonder, like, did your soul plant this seed to go through some type of experience where you yourself had to be the one to break yourself free? That feels like the test here, if there was test. Like it's almost like there's the light, there's the shadow, and there's part of Virgo in between. But the lantern's illuminating the shadow. So let's just say it makes it very clear what the Justice card is for. Look at this. And we have the Lovers. Interesting. I'm thinking, are we doing a whole Virgo reading without any love? When Mother Mary said love? And then what would he get? The Lovers. How interesting that it is next to partnerships and alliances. And it feels like it fits. This feels like my person. That's what it feels like. You know, I feel like I've gone through a journey of hell, climbed my way out, gone through a journey of success, and now I may be entering a journey of love. But I also feel what this is saying is this person is going to understand, lover or not, they're going to understand you really like no other. They've probably been there themselves, if not this lifetime or previous lifetime, but they would remember it because there's that sense of that deep of understanding. I just feel that. All right, this is on the bottom of the deck. Sacrifice. How to make a sacrifice. Look at that, the Two of Cups. Interesting. Under that, the Eight of Cups. The Star. I feel for some of you, you may have wished for someone to return. But I don't know. I'm not feeling like I do feel the Lovers. I do feel the soul connection of them. And to me, that means they'll be familiar, romantic or not. It doesn't even matter. There'll just be this sense. But, I'm thinking, do you keep wishing for the same person if, somebody is searching for like a soulmate? Or, do you give up on like, I don't want to tell you give up. Interesting. I'm starting to feel like the pain that somebody went through a breakup and probably wasn't ready to break up, but it happened anyway. It almost feels like it had to happen. And, you just never know. You just never know. All right. Let's bring in the Gilded Tarot. Some of you may have been like concentrating on work for a long time. And it may now be saying it may be time to think about adding an emotional life. The Lovers, which is harmony, the meaning is a head over heart decision. It is mirroring the devil. And, a lot of times you'll see the devil where the devil is influencing the lovers. So they have to see beyond that for sure. Look at this. We have another Empress. Beautiful. Over the Nine of Pentacles. That is really taking care of oneself and family. It depends. I mean, to each their own, but I feel like, again, taking care of oneself or the mother figure. It's funny. It may have taken, some of you may have been in business for like 9 years and, you're doing okay. But you may start reaping some real benefits. Like you may start seeing real change and real benefits from that change. You may get new epiphanies, new ideas. That is the feminine energy. So some of you, again, you may be called to your feminine energy. Look at that. Side by side. I would expect nothing less in a Virgo reading. Side by side. The Emperor and the Empress. Side by side. Over the Seven of Pentacles. Touching the world. Side by side. Some of you may have waited, but during that waiting, you got creative and you created a nice, let's just say, business for yourself. And then here's the Emperor. And it's funny because I feel like the Emperor is being sent by a mother figure, like a spiritual mother figure. And this is someone that, you can count on. And they will be able to count on you. There's that love Mother Mary was talking about. There's my power couple. I feel like if nothing else, you want to go into. It's funny when I do December readings. I wonder what they're going to be like. But anyways, you want to go into next year, like in the light. With as much clarity as you can have. Like if old wounds come up, trust they're meant to. You know, maybe they want cleared. Look at this, the star. Wow. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. What do you wish, my child? I shall make it come true. What is your wish? So funny. I sent my daughter. It was her birthday yesterday, and I sent her a a prayer where I said to God, I said, send my daughter a miracle. I said something that's going to just fill her heart full of joy because she's been having it rough. I said something just fills her heart filled full of joy. I said, and I'm asking for my birthday wish to her. And I don't know, I haven't heard from her since then, but we'll see. It just reminded me of that for some reason. It's interesting because there's the Emperor and the Empress connected again. I just realized that. Connected here and connected here. And your dreams, your wishes, that's what's being illuminated. You have a right to want the best, but don't wait for Mr. Perfect or Mrs. Perfect either, because they won't come along. I cannot help but feel this is like you're like a love. And I feel like we were meant to talk about your money first because that is a Virgo, right? You want to be secure within yourself. Look at that. And Pentacles. Huh. Interesting. It's coming over the Eight of Swords, but it's also connected to the Hermit, but it's next to the star. It's almost like it's a wish. It is also the illumination of both spiritually and, in the light or in the dark, let's say. But maybe it's going to take some action, like Mother Mary's asking for. Maybe that's what's stopping you. I feel like you just have to take one little step and the rest will just kind of take care of itself. One little step. Also, let's say you're going to stay in that self-care prison. Then I say open your mind. Let yourself imagine and see what comes to you. You may get some real epiphanies. Like literally, I see some of you writing a book in your thoughts. Hmm. It may not be a self-created prison for everyone. It may be almost like a time out, like a disconnection from everyone. I feel like for some of you, part of your wish it's not about what you do, but it's about what you and another will do together. Like I feel like what you fear will never happen is the Ten of Pentacles. Yet here is the Ten of Pentacles. Right? There's all the energy around it supporting the Ten of Pentacles, not the Eight of Swords. Eight of Swords is more, I hate to make it just sound like it's nothing because it's something, but it is more illusionary. It just means that you can break yourself free. And it may be a step-by-step process, but every step will be lighter. Look at that. Oh, the Two of Cups, soulmate. And then we have the Knight of Cups over the Justice card. And then we have the King of Wand over the World under the Emperor. Interesting. Two of Cups over Three of Cups. I feel if another is connected to someone and there's nothing you can do about that, then you have to realize there's nothing you can do about that. You know what I mean? But to move forward with your own life. And if things change, things will change. You know what I mean? But putting one's own life on hold, I don't feel like that's not right. That's not right. But then I'm looking at the Two Cups mirroring the Empress, and I'm just thinking of her energy. And for some of you, I just feel this energy of like maybe loving what you do, but you're also hardworking. Um, and I just get the sense that maybe you haven't like, I don't know if you're looking for love, because I kind of don't feel that, but I do feel like there may be like this little wish. Um, but I do feel like high standards, but that's kind of Virgo, you know what I mean? But they look like they're being met. So can it happen? Well, here it is. Here it is. And here, the Knight of Swords coming over justice. I think I might ask, like, have I felt like have I felt like I've been in energy where my own voice has been shut down? And if so, why? And if why did I allow it? Why do I allow it? Right, because remember, justice is all about truth, your truth. So you want to be very truthful with yourself. King of Wands can be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Might be this Aries, I'm sorry, this Emperor, who is Aries, by the way. But I kind of feel like it's just whoever it is. All right, let's keep going. I can see like relationships that are old where maybe I haven't done anything about it and I just haven't taken the action. This just may be the time. Like that has to come from you. But I would ask myself things like that, like, Look at that. The Ace of Pentacles, beautiful. Especially with the sun right there. And it's like answering your wish. Like, there I am. Here I am. Ace of Pentacles means it's something coming into your physical world. For some of you, it can be money. But I have to tell you, I feel like it's an answered wish. Something that you wished for. It arrives. Hangman. Over partnerships and alliances and boy, touching the Eight of Swords. So it's almost like I'm putting a block to it. But I feel like if I'm putting a block to it, it's because I'm in the Eight of Swords. That'd be the only reason. I haven't found the spiritual clarity that I need yet. So, bam, block. But at the same time, I just want to say the spiritual wisdom is there. You just need to look deeper. But, maybe in a way, some of you want that time out. I do feel kind of like, oh, there's a block. Now, that's not going to be for everyone because some of you're in the Empress's energy. You are just flowing and things are just flowing, through you and to you. Oh, the Nine of Cups. Wow. I guess we're going underneath also. First of all, Nine of Cups, how beautiful. This means that, and you know what? It's so beautiful. It's coming as lovers. And the soulmates are right above it because I get this sense of like, you complete me. You complete me, but I complete myself first. This is the inner harmony first and foremost. So somehow, some way, you found that. Of course you did. Otherwise, the Empress wouldn't be sitting here. And, you know, then wishes just come true. But this is you believing in them too. The hangman, I feel, is somewhere they're not believing. So, we have different people here. All right, over the lovers. I love that. All right, we're going to take what's upright first. And we take the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands can be what I think about, I bring about. Can also be fast moving energy. I think it's like the law of attraction, though. I see like four wands that are going out into the universe and four wands that are coming directly back. What I put out there, I get back. Pure and simple. It's another eight. And then the Two of Pentacles. Interesting. I kind of feel like this is where I'm using more of my logical mind. And I may be even considering, like, do I have the time? But yeah, at the same time, I feel like what I think about, I bring about. All right, see what else we have. All right, they're both reversed. I'm going to turn around. We have the Page of Cups. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. And just to finish it off, let's take one more on top. And we have the Four of Pentacles. The foundation of it all. Excuse me. You know, Some of you may have just had to leave something behind for something else to become your reality. And, I feel like there should be no guilt. Um, I hope you don't have any guilt. And I feel this energy of power couples, of soulmates. I cannot help it. Like, of soulmates. And I feel like it is for those who feel like they themselves have found, maybe that inner harmony. And listen, I get this feeling that, though this is for November, I feel like this is carrying you till January also, though. Because I feel like it's saying, you know, we're looking at both the shadow and the light this year to make those decisions of what's going to stay and what's going to go. And it's almost like you're entering into that time period as the Empress anyway. Creative, um, loving, nurturing, powerful, strong. Sacrifice, she's had sacrifice. So has the Emperor. It's funny that the Emperor's coming over patience and planning because that's kind of how the Emperor does things. Slow and steady wins a race. Where the Empress is like, well, I don't know about that. But they complement each other so well. Like, this is your person. I don't know what else to say. Like, this is your person. And I feel like some are going to accept it and some are not. And that's that. But do not disregard, how it is building you up for you and the things that you've done and like how you've grown, right? This is you looking like between the shadow and the light. This is you as the Empress, or the Emperor, and this is your world, your chapter. You are the co-creator, the writer. The Hermit is the wise old soul. It's the wisdom of your ancestors and lifetimes of experience, over the shadow. And you're given power over the shadow, and then there's the light. Anything done in the dark will come the light, and I can let go of the rest. I feel like you put the Queen of Pentacles, or the Empress and the Emperor together, and then in the same row, have the Ten of Pentacles, no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind. And I just love the thought of them working together. It doesn't mean they have to. But I don't know, there's a sense of like, boy, they really could. And for some reason, I'm getting a peek at the future. I feel like for a few of you, this may be someone you have a future child with. Now, I don't feel like that's everyone, but I just want to say that. All right. Let's bring out the clarifying love situations. I feel like I don't want to overread this. If you hurt a Virgo, it does take a Virgo time to heal. That is true. That is true. All right, between the lines, uncover the truth carefully and write your own ending. So funny because I'm looking at the Queen of Pentacles, I'm thinking, did I even talk about her, my psychic detective? And then we get this, uncover the truth carefully and write your own ending. Just said you are the author of your own book. Looming agenda. You have different ideas about love and intimacy. Some of you, it may just be that simple. We're just different. Where the Emperor and the Empress are not. They're not exactly the same either, but they do complete each other. All right, let's bring out the romance angels. I knew that was going to happen. I predicted that. It's funny, the only card out of all these cards that's messed up is the Emperor. Why is that? Worth waiting for. One of my favorites. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. You know, when you see this, and especially Mother Mary sending out love, it means that you can let go of control and just let it flow to you, however it may be, right? Some people may be like, but I barely leave the house. Well, my phone rang. You know what I mean? Like, you just never know. You never know. Divine timing is at work in your love life. You don't even have to worry. Worth waiting for. Well, if it's the Emperor or the Empress, then that's definitely worth the wait. And that may be all that wants to come out. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate we have right here, may differ from your usual type in expectations. Keep an open mind. Keep an open mind. You never know who they are. You know, sometimes it starts as a friendship and it grows into love. Sometimes you meet someone, it's like there's electricity and you can't deny it. Just, I feel like keep your mind open and let your energy flow. You know, definitely know like what you don't want any longer and let it go. And then let yourself flow. And I feel like the rest will just happen. Like divine has your back, your soulmate, it's right here, it's right here. Mother Mary says love, it's everywhere. So, you know, I would have to say these readings never disappoint. And to me, like having my intuition open, I feel like these cards were so clear. Our guides are so clear. And I just feel like different people are at different places. But even if, you know, you're in different places, you can still see the potential of the ultimate outcome. And I had to say potential because, you know, you have free will. Like if you're the Eight of Swords, you have to uncreate that. Or you just kind of stay there. You know, the hangman's right there, kind of proving that. But listen, if that's what I want, that's what I want. But what is my soul learning there? Some of you, maybe a lot. I don't know. Like, I'll leave that to you guys. But anyways, I feel you guys are all over the place here. And I don't mean you're all over the place. I mean like some are here, some are here, some are here. So I think you'll find yourself. Anyway, I love you guys. I thank you. I always love doing your readings. Not even because I'm Virgo, because I just kind of forget that. I just read and they're always interesting. It started out like, holy shit, and just got deeper and deeper. So I loved it. I hope you did. I thank you. I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Oh, my screen is awful loud. I'm sorry about that. Bye, guys. Look, until someone shut off.